it then makes it more difficult to know whether that person is interested or not, and even that investor to be interested, because as you mentioned, when everything is laid out in black and white, that's fantastic. One question that I wanted to ask you actually is, obviously we've got this world sort of pandemic that's happening at the moment. I won't say the name, but the virus. YouTube will take this down otherwise. Has that affected your business, your project, and just your property business as a whole, moving in this last sort of like 3 months or so?
Yeah. So I see my businesses as threefold. In property, the first and primary business is that of development. We buy property, we develop it, whether we keep it or we sell it, or it's buying and adding value to property. That's my core business, and that's where predominantly I work with the investors on that. The second business is the letting agencies, where we're managing property and we're making money, some with my own portfolio, some other people's property as well that we manage. And the third one is that of a mentoring training business. So I think about, in my mind, as those as three separate businesses, although I've got lots of different companies for various things, but that's how I tend to compartmentalize it, if you like, in my mind. So when COVID or when the market changed, I'll let you edit that. When the market started to change a few weeks ago, and all the and the lockdown started, I'm not going to lie to you, I had a day of a panic and thinking, oh my God, how is this going to affect us? How long is this going to go on for? Because it was just so unexpected. When you can see something happening, then you can plan for it. So again, earlier we were talking when we were off mic about what's going to happen to the market. And I'm a firm believer as well that I think the market's going to crash, the property market later this year. I think it's just been propped up artificially right now, but we can see that, so you can plan. So right now I was telling you about some properties I'm selling, and I'm saying to the estate agent, yeah, if the market's buoyant, you sell them. You go ahead and sell them, because I need to get them shifted. So you can plan for that. But when something happens unexpected and you can't plan for, then that can be quite tough. So how did it impact us? Well, in terms of the lettings, the main issue was some tenants not being able to pay straight away. Now, first thing you have to do is filter out who's genuine and who's trying it on. Or the government said, I don't have to pay my rent, so I'm not paying my rent for the next 3 months. Apparently, you guys are going to get some mortgage holiday or something. We have to deal with those kind of calls. But the team are great. We talked about it. They kind of got that back on track. I was speaking to one of the team yesterday, and our arrears level is actually quite low. It's always been quite low because we're quite fussy about generally who we put in the property in the first place. And so I'm pleased that we've kind of got that back on track, but it was a little bit of a panic, and some of the staff we furloughed, some we sent home to work from home, but we're kind of now getting all that back on track. So that's good. In terms of the development business, that's probably what suffered the most, because we had some of the contractors who just stopped working because the government said you shouldn't be going to work if you can work from home, or if you can work from home, you should work from home, you shouldn't go out, or whatever the confusing message was. So some of them just said, actually, we're not working. So we had a couple of projects just stopped. And then we had problems with suppliers by not being able to get materials. And some of the manufacturers closed, like window manufacturers, kitchen manufacturers, they'd all stopped. That means, I'm building new houses, I'm renovating properties. Everything was grinding to a halt. And I was thinking, this is not good. I've got properties lined up to sell. I've got bridges that need to finish at a certain point. I've got investors' money in projects. And ultimately, what it meant is that I've had to take a hit. My profit margins have been squeezed, but people that invested with me, they'll be okay. My job is to protect them, even if I have to take a hit, because you know what? I'll always make more money. You're just not going to be able to make more time. You just do the best you can with what you have. So I'm pleased the development stuff is pretty much back on track now. We'll see how the sales go. If we can sell the ones that are due to be sold, great. If not, I've already worked out we'll be able to hold them and just sit tight for them for a year or so. And then the third business, the mentoring and the support business, obviously we do live events and stuff, as you spoke about earlier on. All that's kind of ground to a halt, which is a bit disappointing, because I love the energy and connecting with people and stuff. I really enjoy doing that. All that stopped. I actually haven't moved the stuff online like I know many other people have, because I just felt it was just jumping on the bandwagon for the sake of it. And I thought it's not the same experience, so I've decided not to do that. Hopefully, maybe later in the year, we'll get back up and running with the events. So I've just focused on my mentees at the moment, on my mentor program, just focus on supporting them through this, sharing my knowledge, experience of going through a recession previously, how I see the market changing, and just supporting them. So in short, I have taken a whack, but I'm still here. I'm still standing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love the fact that even though you know that your profit margins are squeezed, because you know where the market is headed, it's almost like this doesn't matter in the short term anyway, because this time next year, the year after, you'll be back to sort of normal and moving on your project.